Hi everyone, my name is Simon Mishevich from Optimise Accountants, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the potential wealth tax that may be introduced by the Labour Party, and I'm going to give you some indication of why that might happen and indeed the rates that might apply. So please do pay particular attention to this because we're going to look at other countries and how they bring it into play. Now the first country I'm going to look at is where I live, funny enough, and that is Spain. Now, you can have a wealth tax anything from 0% up to 3.5%. It is regionalized in Spain. Okay, so there's different rates that will apply depending on where you live. But the highest rate is 3.5%, and the exemption in this particular case is 1 million. But that, again, that is regionalized. It can be different. But Spain, 3.5% on anything above a million, basically, in this example. Could that happen in the UK? If it could, that is a serious amount of money that you'll have to pay each and every single year on top of the income tax charges of, let's say, 45% that you might be paying. In France, very similar in terms of approach, that they look at your net assets and anything to 1.3 million, they will leave alone. Anything above that, though, they will go different banded rates again, up to 1.5%. And we've got Netherlands. Their exemption is only 50,000 euros, which is quite frightening. Anything above that is charged at 1.5%. It's excessive, I have to be honest. That's a huge amount of tax that people pay. And I think what we need to think about here is how would this be done in the UK? And it would be based on your net assets. So let's take your home. Your home might be worth £1 million. Will they apply wealth tax to that £1 million? No, they won't. They'll apply it on the net assets. So if the house had a mortgage of £500,000, then you'd have £1 million property less the £500,000 mortgage gives you £500,000 worth of net assets. Could they charge wealth tax on that? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, what we've seen from the previous screens, that it could be £1 million and above. But we will soon see for sure. It would have a significant reporting requirement because now you have to start putting in your tax return not only your income and your expenses to get some profits and your employment income, any disposals for capital gains tax, but now you're going to have to potentially have to list all of your bank accounts all around the world. You're going to have to list all your property values at market value. So do you need to restate your property valuation every year? Who knows? You may have businesses. You may need to do a revaluation on what that business is worth. This is going to be a significant amount of reporting if indeed they do bring in this wealth tax. It is going to be a mess. And the HMRC can't even keep up with their own small changes, never mind big changes. And this would be a significant one, and it would collapse HMRC. And again, politicians ignore practical sense of things. They would just say, yes, this is what we're going to do. And then HMRC have to pick up the rubbish. It's two separate departments, and they don't really convey what they want from the politician perspective. And HMRC, is it practical? Is it something that we can actually do? But anyway, it would be paid annually. So it's not as though it's a wealth tax on your lifetime. Could be a wealth tax paid every single year. And if it's 1% of your net asset value, how much tax are you paying? Well, it could be based on a percentage rate. It would be hard to police. I don't know how they're going to do this. So even though they could ask you to do all the reporting in the world, how would they validate this? They can validate bank accounts, they can validate investment accounts, they can validate some of the properties, but things like in Spain, there is a high protection around your information of property and the valuation of that property. So HMRC would have no way of getting that information from the Spanish tax authorities if you had a second home in Spain, as for example. I'm sure that also applies to other countries around the world as well. So it's going to be hard to police, but you can imagine if they bring in wealth tax, not only is it going to be a lot of money that you have to pay out again, but there's going to be a significant amount of reporting that you need to do. Accountancy fees will go up, so it's not just the wealth tax, it's going to be accountancy fees, and the amount of time that you're going to take just to do this report is going to be 10 times more than what it currently is to do your self-assessment tax return.